Have you ever been in a situation where everything around you is falling apart, but one person just sat there, calm, quiet, and still? Did you wonder how they managed to stay so composed while everyone else was panicking? What would happen if, instead of reacting right away, you simply paused and watched, just for a moment? Imagine you're in traffic, horns blaring, people shouting, and you're late. Your heart races. You grip the steering wheel tighter. But suddenly, you take a deep breath and decide not to react. You sit back and just observe. Nothing outside changes, but something inside you shifts. This small moment of calm gives you power, real power. This video is for you if you've ever felt overwhelmed, anxious, or trapped in your thoughts. Here, we'll explore a simple but powerful idea. Stay calm and observe what happens. This isn't just a tip. It's a way of life. And it's deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings, where stillness isn't weakness, it's strength. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a channel where ancient insights meet modern life. We're grateful you're here, truly. But here's something surprising. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. That's shocking, right? So if you find even one idea helpful today, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything and helps us grow this mindful community together. When we say stay calm and observe, we're not telling you to run from your problems. We're inviting you to face them without letting them control you. Calmness is not about avoiding emotion. It's about allowing it to pass through you like clouds in the sky without getting stuck. Buddhism teaches that the mind is always moving, like a monkey jumping from tree to tree. But when you observe this movement without trying to stop it, something beautiful happens. You become the watcher, not the thoughts. And in that shift, suffering begins to loosen its grip. True observation is not about thinking harder. It's about seeing clearly. The more you watch, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the less you suffer. That's not magic. That's mindfulness. So today, sit back, take a deep breath, be present, and just observe, quietly, gently, and without force. Because in this calm space, your real transformation begins. The mind is a mirror, observing without judgment. Cool me. Seat. Breathe. Let the world slow down for a moment. You don't need to rush. You don't need to fix anything. Just be here now. Let me tell you something very old, but very simple. Your mind is like a mirror. Yes, a mirror. Clear, silent, still. But over time, dust gathers. Thoughts, emotions, worries, opinions, they stick like dirt. You don't see things as they are. You see things through that dust. And when you react too quickly, without watching, you're not responding to reality. You're reacting to the dust on the mirror. Now, ask yourself this. When someone insults you, what happens? Most people react. Anger rises. Words fly. Defenses come up. But what if you didn't react? What if you simply observed? If your mind was like a clean mirror, their insult would be like a breeze. It touches, then passes. Nothing sticks. No storm inside you. Just peace. This is not weakness. This is power. But we are not taught to observe. We're taught to judge. We judge others. We judge ourselves. Every single moment becomes a courtroom. He is wrong. She is stupid. I'm not good enough. This is unfair. That is better. Judgment is like scratching the mirror. Every time you judge, you leave a mark. Every time you label something good, bad, boring, fun, ugly, nice, you stop seeing what is. You see what you think it is. And that is very different. In Zen, we learn to watch without naming. A cloud is a cloud. A tree is a tree. A tear is a tear. A smile is a smile. No story, no label. Just this moment. Try this right now. Close your eyes. Notice your breath. Don't change it. Just observe. Now listen to the sound around you. Don't say car, or bird, or fan. Just sound. Just vibration. Just life. You see, there is a kind of peace in not naming everything. A kind of freedom in letting things be. In Buddhism, we call this bare attention. It means to look at something with a soft gaze, like a quiet child watching the rain. No need to decide. No need to compare. Just see. The Buddha said, in the seeing, there is only the seen. In the hearing, only the heard. Not, I am hearing. Not, I hear something bad. Just hearing. Just seeing. That's all. When you live this way, your mind becomes lighter. You don't carry opinions about everything. You don't carry stories about everyone. You become free. Let me give you a simple example. A man walks into a room and sees two people whispering. He thinks, they must be talking about me. He feels hurt, angry. He walks away. That thought creates suffering. Now, imagine the same man walks in, sees two people whispering, and simply notices there are two people. They're whispering. Nothing more. No story. No assumption. No pain. You see, it's not the whispering that hurts. It's the judgment that follows. We suffer not because of what happens, but because of how we see what happens. That's why we must clean the mirror. How do we clean it? Not with effort, not with force, but with awareness. The next time you feel hurt, pause. Ask yourself, am I seeing clearly? Or is this dust on the mirror? Maybe someone ignores your message. You feel rejected. But stop. Look again. Could they be busy? Could they be tired? Could mean nothing? You don't know. So why assume? Zen is not about knowing more. It's about letting go of false knowing. When you stop judging, you stop clinging. And when you stop clinging, peace enters like soft rain. Even your thoughts, yes, even your own thoughts, are not always true. Not every thought is a fact. Not every emotion is a truth. The mind generates thoughts like the sky creates clouds. They form. They pass. If you try to chase every cloud, you'll be exhausted. But if you lie under the sky and simply observe, you will be at peace. So what do? We sit. We breathe. We observe. Again and again. And slowly, the mirror clears. Let me ask you, when was the last time you watched your own mind without trying to fix it? Just watched. Like watching a river flow. Thoughts go. Some are loud. Some are soft. Some are kind. Some are cruel. But you're not those thoughts. You're the watcher. In Zen, we call this the big sky mind. A vast mind. A free mind. Thoughts are just birds flying across it. If you grab one, you suffer. If you watch them fly, you smile. That is the art of living calmly. That is the power of observation. This practice is not only for monks. It's for you. For anyone who wants peace in daily life. At work, when someone interrupts you, breathe. With family, when tempers rise, observe. On the street, when chaos happens, watch. Not like a cold robot, but like a gentle mountain. Stable, calm, still. One Zen Master said, the true miracle is not walking on water. It is walking on earth with calm mind and open heart. Let that be your practice. Let each step, each breath, each moment be an opportunity to see without judging. Let the mirror of your mind become so clear that the world reflects in it, just as it is. Not perfect, not broken, just this. And in that quiet seeing, you will find something rare. Not excitement, not drama, but peace. Peace that doesn't depend on what's happening. Peace that is always there under the noise. So walk slowly, breathe deeply, and keep your mirror clean, not by scrubbing, but by seeing. Let this be your way now, to stay calm, to observe, to live with a mirror-like mind. We will continue again, but for now, sit a little longer. Watch, smile, breathe, that's all. Stillness in chaos, cultivating inner equanimity. Sit. The world outside is loud, isn't it? Everyone is rushing, running to be somewhere, to do something, to prove something. The noise is not just outside. It enters your mind, your heart, your breath. You feel it, don't you? That tightness, that pressure. But today, let us do something different. Let's sit in stillness, right in the middle of the storm. Chaos is part of life. You cannot escape it. One day it is a missed train. The next day is a broken relationship, a lost job, an unexpected illness, or even a harsh word from someone you care about. Life does not wait for your permission to become messy. But here is the secret. You can learn to be still even while life spins wildly around you. Imagine a pond. When the surface is still, you can see clearly into the water. But when you throw stones into it or the wind shakes it, the water becomes cloudy. You can't see anything clearly. The same happens with your mind. When it is still, you see clearly. When it is shaken by thoughts, by emotions, by stress, it becomes cloudy. The problem is not the chaos around you. The problem is the chaos within you. Now, you might ask, Master, how can I be still when everything is going wrong? How can I find peace when there is noise inside me and outside me? I smile when I hear this question because it is the question that every person brings when they begin their journey. And I say, begin by doing nothing. Yes, nothing. Don't fight your thoughts. Don't try to stop your emotions. Don't try to fix the world. Just sit. Just breathe. Just observe. Slowly, the storm inside you will begin to calm. Not because you made it stop, but because you stopped feeding it. In Zen, we do not believe in controlling the mind like a soldier controls an army. We believe in watching the mind like a mother watches her child, lovingly, patiently, without anger. The child may cry, shout, run around, but the mother does not scream back. She watches. She waits. And when the child is tired, he returns to her lap. Your mind is that child. Your awareness is the mother. Now, think of a time when you reacted too quickly. Maybe someone insulted you, and before you could think, you shouted back. Later, you felt regret. You wished you had stayed calm. Why does this happen? Because you let the chaos control you. But imagine if you had stayed silent for just 5 seconds, 10 seconds. You would have seen the insult for what it was, a passing cloud. You would have saved your peace. Stillness is a decision. It does not come from perfect conditions. It comes from understanding that conditions will never be perfect. People will speak without thinking. Plans will break. Loved ones will hurt you. The weather will change. Your body will age. Your bank account will rise and fall. Nothing stays the same, but your stillness can. Stillness is not closing your eyes to the world. It is opening your inner eyes, watching without jumping, listening without reacting, feeling without drowning. When you master this, you walk through fire without being burned. In Buddhism, we speak of equanimity. This is the heart that stays steady whether it receives praise or blame, gain or loss, pleasure or pain. It is not coldness. It is warmth with wisdom, a mind that sees all things but clings to nothing. A great master once said, "Let the world be as it is. I will remain as I am." This is not arrogance. This is realization. When you stop needing everything to go your way, when you let people be who they are, when you stop chasing and start watching, you begin to taste real freedom. Let me tell you a simple story. There was a Zen monk who lived in a village. One day, a young woman in the village gave birth to a baby and told everyone the monk was the father. The villagers were shocked. They insulted the monk, shouted at him, called him shameful. Do you know what the monk said? He said, "Is that so?" He took care of the baby with love, even though it was not his. A year later, the woman confessed the truth. The real father was someone else. The villagers returned to the monk and apologized. Do you know what he said? He said, "Is that so?" Stillness is not weakness. It is not silence out of fear. It is deep, unshakable strength. The monk was not numb. He simply refused to let the noise of the world enter the temple of his peace. When you start practicing this stillness, people may misunderstand you. They may say you don't care, but that's not true. You care more deeply than ever. You just don't react wildly anymore. You see through things. You wait. You trust the unfolding. This is the path of the wise. Your stillness will make people uncomfortable, but slowly, some will begin to feel safe around you. They will come to you not for answers, but for your presence. Because your presence will feel like shelter in a storm. That is the power of calm awareness. Breathe slowly. Notice your breath as it moves in and out. This is not just air. It is life moving through you. Life never stays in one place. So don't hold on too tightly. Let thoughts pass. Let moments pass. Observe everything. Cling to nothing. Chaos will knock at your door again and again. Sometimes it will come as a problem. Sometimes as a person. Sometimes as fear. But now you know what to do. Sit, watch, smile, be still. And when the world asks, "Why aren't you reacting?" you will say, "Because I am learning to be like the sky, calm, wide, and untouched by passing storms." This is the way of the still one, the silent watcher, the calm heart in the middle of noise. This is your way now. Just observe what happens next. The art of non-reaction, letting go before responding. Sit down, take a deep breath. Let the air come in through your nose and leave softly through your mouth. Feel your body sitting. Feel your feet touching the ground. Let the world slow down around you. Good. Now listen. There's a great power inside you. Not in your muscles, not in your words, not even in your thoughts. This power is your ability to not react. Yes, non-reaction. It may sound strange at first, but understand this. In many situations, your silence, your stillness, your pause is stronger than any loud reply, stronger than anger, stronger than rushing in. When you don't react, you are not weak. You are watching, waiting, understanding. Let me tell you something simple. A dog barks at a tree. The tree does not bark back. The tree stands still. It does not move. It does not shake. It does not fight. Why? Because the tree knows what it is. The barking dog cannot harm the tree's roots. Now think about your life. How many times have people barked at you? With insults, with anger, with jealousy. And how many times have you barked back? Did it help? Or did it only make things louder, messier, more painful? When you react without thinking, you become part of the storm. But when you pause, when you simply observe, you stay outside of the storm. You remain the sky, not the thunder. In Buddhism, we do not say don't feel. We say feel but do not become. Feel the anger, but do not become anger. Feel the fear, but do not become fear. You're not your emotions. You're the one watching those emotions rise and fall. Like waves in the ocean, they come and go, but the ocean remains. One of the greatest teachings of the Buddha is this: whatever arises also passes away. If you hold on tightly to every feeling, you suffer. But if you observe it gently, without judgment, you are free. You see, most people live like this, stimulus and reaction. Something happens, and they immediately respond. Someone shouts, they shout back. Someone disrespects them, they attack. But between stimulus and reaction, there is a small space. That space is sacred. In that space, you have a choice. That space is where peace lives. Zen practice is not about being a statue. It is not about pretending nothing touches you. It is about being touched, but not broken. It is about seeing clearly, feeling fully, and choosing wisely. It is the art of non-reaction. Now, you may ask, but Zen Master, how do I not react when my heart is burning with pain? I will tell you. First, you must learn to breathe before you speak. This is not just about air. This is about awareness. When something stirs your emotions, pause. Take one deep breath, then another. Feel the breath. Feel how it grounds you. This breath is your anchor. Second, label what you feel. Say to yourself, this is anger. This is fear. This is shame. When you give the feeling a name, it cannot control you as easily. You have caught it in your awareness, and awareness brings light. Third, don't act. Just watch. This is the hardest part. Your mind will tell you, do something, say something, but you don't have to. The emotion will rise like fire, but if you do nothing, the fire will cool. Give it time. Be the watcher. There is a story. A student came to a Zen master, shouting. He said, "Master, people insult me. They mock me. What should I do?" The master smiled and handed him a cup of tea. The student said, "I don't want tea. I want answers." The master said, "When you are thirsty, I give you tea. When your mind is burning, I give you silence." Sometimes silence is the answer, not because you have nothing to say, but because what needs to be said can wait until the fire dies down. There is no strength in reacting quickly. True strength lies in patience. The world is full of noise, but you could be the quiet place in the middle of it. When you learn to pause before reacting, you begin to see everything differently. You notice how people are controlled by their own anger. You notice how their words are not always about you, but about their own pain. You stop taking things so personally. You see the suffering behind their sharp voices. This is compassion, and it is born in the space between reaction. Think of a pond. If you throw a rock in, the water splashes. It becomes cloudy. But if you leave it alone, it becomes still again. Then you can see all the way to the bottom. Your mind is that pond. Let's settle. A non-reactive mind is a clear mind. A clear mind is a peaceful mind. A peaceful mind makes better choices. When you learn this art, life becomes softer. You're no longer pulled in 10 directions by every opinion, every argument, every emotion. You walk like a mountain, calm, grounded, unshaken. But be patient with yourself. You won't master this in a day. Sometimes you will slip. Sometimes you will react. That is okay. Notice it. Learn from it. Begin again. The beauty of this path is that every moment is a chance to practice. The next time someone tests your patience, smile softly. Don't speak. Don't defend. Just observe. Maybe their words sting. Maybe your body wants to respond. But your awareness is stronger. You sit with the feeling. You let it pass. You don't carry it. You don't throw it back. You let it dissolve. This is true freedom. There's another story. A man insulted the Buddha in public. He cursed him, shouted at him. The Buddha remained calm. After a while, the man asked, "Why don't you say anything?" The Buddha replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not take it, to whom does it belong?" The man said, "To the giver." "Exactly," said the Buddha. "I do not accept your anger. It remains with you." What a lesson. You don't have to accept every gift people give you, especially if that gift is anger, hate, or poison. Let them keep it. The art of non-reaction is not about being passive. It is about being conscious. It is not weakness. It is mastery. You still feel everything, but you are no longer a puppet pulled by every emotion. You are awake. So remember, next time your heart pounds, your fists clench, your voice rises, stop. Breathe. Observe. Say to yourself, "I am the sky. These emotions are clouds. I will not chase them. I will not fear them. I will simply watch them pass. And they will pass." In this way, step by step, breath by breath, you become a quiet force. Calm, steady, unshakable. That is the Zen way. Now close your eyes. Sit still. Listen to your breath. Do nothing. React to nothing. Just be. And in that being, you will discover who you truly are. Impermanence in motion, watching the world change. Listen carefully, dear one. Everything you see, everything you touch, everything you feel is always changing. Nothing stays still. Nothing remains the same. This is not something to fear. It is something to understand. It is the secret of life, the rhythm of the universe. It is called impermanence. You see the river? It flows. It never holds its water in place. The water that touched your feet a moment ago is already far away. And yet, the river remains. The form changes, the flow continues. Such is life. Now look at your own life. The joy you once had, where is it now? It came, it stayed, and then it went away. And your sorrow? It also came, stayed, and went. Pain arrives like a storm, but even the strongest storm passes. This is the truth. Nothing stays forever. When you begin to observe this truth, without fear, without clinging, you begin to taste real freedom. You don't have to force change. You only have to see it. The tree outside your window, it loses its leaves in autumn. You might think it is dying, but it is simply resting. Soon, new leaves will return. You didn't tell the tree to change. You just watched and it happened. So too, your inner world shifts on its own. Thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fall. You don't have to chase them. Just notice them. Watch them with calm eyes. When you're angry, observe the anger. You will see it grow, swell, and fade. When you're sad, don't push it away. Just sit beside it like a quiet friend. It will pass too. That's the way of things. In Buddhism, we say, anicca. This word means impermanence. It is one of the 3 marks of existence. It means that nothing, not even your own self, is fixed. You're like the sky, and your thoughts and emotions are like clouds. They drift in, they drift out, but the sky remains untouched. To suffer less, don't hold the clouds. Let them pass. Observe them. Smile at them. Know that they are not you. They are only visitors. Some people fear change. They want things to stay the same. They want joy to last forever and pain to go away quickly. But both are visitors. If you open your door to one, you must open it to the other too. This is balance. The more you resist change, the more pain you create. The more you observe change, the more peace you discover. Sit with yourself when the world is loud. Watch how the noise comes, then goes. Sit with yourself when you are happy. Watch how the joy dances for a while, then leaves quietly. Nothing is permanent. Not even your name. Not even your face. And strangely, this is not something to mourn. It is something to celebrate. Because impermanence means nothing is stuck. No pain is eternal. No mistake defines you forever. You can start again. Right now. In this very moment. That is the power of observation. It doesn't try to change the world. It just watches. And in watching, it understands. And in understanding, it is freed. Sometimes people come to me and say, "Master, I am broken. My life has fallen apart." And I smile gently. I say, "Good. Now it can change. Now it can grow in a new direction. A pot that cracks can be filled with gold." That is the way of kintsugi, repairing with love, not shame. Look around you. Seasons change. People age. Children grow. Friends leave. New ones arrive. Even mountains erode and rivers carve through stone. Nothing resists the passing of time. Why should you? If you truly want peace, learn to sit still and observe the dance of change. Don't get caught in every emotion. Don't believe every thought. Just watch them pass by like travelers on a road. A Zen Master once said, "The bamboo bends in the storm but does not break." Why? Because it does not resist the wind. It moves with it. That is the wisdom of observation, to bend, to sway, to flow with what is, not what should be. When you practice this kind of awareness, you will notice something strange. You begin to feel a deep calm, even in pain. You begin to feel a soft joy, even in sorrow. Why? Because you're no longer chasing or running. You are simply here, fully present. The modern world teaches you to react quickly, to fix things, to control every detail. But the path of Zen teaches something else. It says, just watch, just breathe, just be. From this stillness, wisdom comes. Try this. Next time you are angry, don't speak. Don't act. Just sit. Breathe slowly. Say in your heart, "This too shall pass." And it will. You will see the anger melt like ice under the sun. When you feel joy, don't grip it tightly. Just enjoy it. Let it warm you. And when it leaves, thank it. Do not beg it to stay. It will return in another form. Everything comes back in a new way. That is the beauty of impermanence. In your relationships, in your work, in your health, change will come. If you resist it, you suffer. If you accept it, you grow. If you observe it with calm eyes, you awaken. The Buddha did not fight the world. He watched it deeply, and through watching, he understood it. Through understanding, he became free. You can do the same. You don't need robes or temples. You just need presence, quiet presence. You don't need to shout, run, or control. You need only to see with eyes that are calm and a heart that is open. So now sit quietly. Take a breath. Feel the air on your skin. Notice how it touches you, then slips away. It will never return the same way again. That moment is gone, and a new one has arrived. Life is always arriving. There is nothing to fear. There is only this moment, right now. Can you stay calm? Can you just observe? Try it. That is where the real strength lives. Not in control, but in awareness. The world will keep changing. That is not your enemy. That is your teacher. Watch it gently. Let it guide you. Let it soften you. Let it open your eyes. And when you truly see that everything is changing, you will stop trying to hold on so tightly. You will open your hand. You will open your mind. And finally, you will breathe freely. That, my dear student, is the secret. Stay calm and observe what happens. Not because you are weak, but because you are finally wise. Mindfulness of emotions, seeing through the storm. Cool me. Sit with me for a while. Let the world slow down. Today, we talk about something that burns inside every heart, emotions. Some days, they're like gentle rain. Other days, they're wild storms. Happiness, sadness, anger, fear, jealousy, love, they all visit us. But do we truly know what they are? Or do we just react to them without understanding? In Zen, we do not push emotions away. We do not fight them, and we do not let them control us either. What we do is simple. We observe. Yes, just observe. Let me tell you something very important. Emotions are not problems. They're signals. They are not your enemy. They are not your identity either. They are just passing clouds. You are not the clouds. You are the sky. When anger rises inside, what do most people do? They shout. They slam doors. They hurt others, or they hurt themselves. Why? Because they think anger is them. They say, I am angry. But in Zen, we say instead, anger is visiting me. That small change is powerful. It means you're the host, and anger is just a guest. So, when the guest arrives, don't fight it. Don't invite it to stay forever. Just open the door of awareness and say, I see you, anger. You are here. Then sit with it. Breathe. Watch what it does inside you. Does your heart beat faster? Does your jaw tighten? Do thoughts race in your mind? Good. Notice everything. That's called mindfulness. And this is the first step to freedom. Most people are scared of emotions like sadness or fear. But in Zen, we learn that nothing can harm you when you look at it with calm eyes. Emotions only become monsters when we close our eyes and run from them. But if you open your eyes wide, breathe slowly, and stay present, you will see sadness is just a wave. It rises, then falls. Fear, too. It visits, then leaves. Let me tell you a story. A student once came to me, trembling with grief. He had lost someone dear. Tears filled his eyes. He said, Master, I feel like I will drown in this sadness. It hurts too much. I smiled gently and said, that is because you're swimming against the river. Don't fight it. Float in it. Watch it. Cry if you must. Let your sadness speak. But don't become it. He was confused. How can I feel it and not become it? So I gave him a bowl of water and a spoon of salt. Stir it, I said. He stirred the salt into the water. I told him to take a sip. Too salty, he said. Then I gave him the same spoon of salt, but this time asked him to pour it into a big river and take a sip from the river. He sipped and smiled. I don't taste the salt anymore. I said, that's the difference between a small mind and a big mind. When your awareness is small, emotions overwhelm you. When your awareness grows, emotions are still there, but they don't control the taste of your life anymore. He understood. So my dear one, when you feel something strong, anger, fear, sadness, even deep joy, don't shrink into it. Expand your awareness. Become the river. Let it flow through you. Ask yourself, where is this emotion in my body? What is it trying to tell me? Is it really me? Or is it just passing by? Be curious. Watch without fear. The more you do this, the more calm you become, even in the middle of emotional storms. You see, calm does not mean nothing happens. Calm means you're not shaken by what happens. The storm may roar, but the mountain does not move. In Buddhism, we speak of equanimity. It means staying steady, no matter what emotion comes. Like a tree in the wind. Its branches sway, but its roots hold strong. How do you grow these roots? By practicing every day. Not just when life is peaceful, but especially when emotions are high. That's when practice becomes real. That's when Zen becomes alive in you. Some people ask, Master, but what if the emotion is too strong? What if I feel I will explode? Then I say, breathe deeper, not harder. Sit still. Anchor yourself in the breath. Count slowly. Feel your feet on the ground. Return to your body. Return to the now. Because emotions live in the mind's time machine. They pull you into the past, where guilt lives, or push you into the future, where fear lives. But if you stay here, now, present, emotions lose their grip. The mind may scream, this feeling will last forever. But the truth is, it won't. Everything changes. This is a core teaching of the Buddha, anicca, impermanence. Nothing stays, not even the strongest storm. Not even your anger, not even your grief. So don't be afraid. The emotion is not permanent. But the one who watches, that deep presence within you, you're that watcher. You're not your anger. You're not your sadness. You are the space in which they rise and fall. This is why we say, stay calm. Observe. Let it pass. Let the emotion come. Let dance. Let shout. But don't dance with it. Don't shout with it. Watch. If it burns, let it burn, and then let the ashes fall away. And when it's gone, do not say, I was weak. Say, I stayed. Do not say, I failed. Say, I watched. Do not say, I broke. Say, I opened. This is mindfulness of emotions. It is not cold. It is not distant. It is the deepest form of care for yourself. Because when you watch your own emotions gently, with patience, you heal. And slowly, you become someone that no storm can move. You walk through life with soft steps and a strong heart. So next time emotion rises like fire, do not rush to put it out. Instead, light a small lamp of awareness and see what it's made of. Stay calm, observe, and in that stillness, see what happens. Imagine for a moment that you're sitting quietly by a still pond. The surface of the water is perfectly calm, reflecting the sky, the trees, and the clouds above. Now imagine a leaf falls gently onto that pond. The water ripples for a moment and then returns to calm. The reflection changes but then settles back again. This pond is like your mind. Often, the surface is disturbed by thoughts, feelings, and worries. Yet beneath all this movement, there is a stillness that never leaves. This stillness is who you truly are, the witness, the observer within. When you begin to watch your thoughts, you will see how often the mind rushes to conclusions. You will see how it judges and labels. But the observer simply watches. It does not judge or try to fix. It allows everything to be as it is. Imagine watching a movie with calm interest without getting upset by the story. This is how the witness watches your life. It sees the pain, the joy, the anger, and the peace all as passing scenes. This way of observing is not cold or distant. It is full of compassion because when you watch without judgment, you create space for healing. Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. The peace of the witness self is always available, right here, right now. When you identify with the observer, you begin to understand the true nature of your mind. You see that thoughts are like clouds, always moving, never permanent. Emotions come and go like waves on the ocean, but the ocean itself remains deep and still. This understanding brings a profound calmness. You no longer fear your feelings or thoughts because you know they are not who you truly are. Another way to find the observer within is through meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and simply watch your breath. Feel the air coming in and going out. When a thought appears, notice it without following it. See like a cloud passing by. Then return your attention gently to your breath. At first, this may seem difficult. The mind will resist and want to run. But with patience, you learn to rest in the watcher's presence. You learn that you do not have to fight your mind. You only need to observe it. In time, this practice spills over into daily life. You find yourself less reactive. When anger arises, you watch it without becoming angry. When fear appears, you notice it without panicking. You see the moment clearly before choosing your response. This is the power of the observer within. It gives you freedom to choose peace, no matter what is happening outside. You might wonder, if I am just a watcher, what happens to me? Who am I really? This question is the beginning of a deep journey. Zen does not give easy answers. It invites you to explore your true self beyond words and thoughts. Some say the true self is like space, vast, open, and free. Others say it is the pure awareness that shines behind all experiences. Whatever name you give it, the observer within is the doorway to your deepest truth. But don't rush to understand this with your mind. Instead, rest in the experience of watching. Let the observer show you what it is in its own time. In the stories of Zen masters, there are many teachings about this witness self. One famous story tells of a student who asked his teacher, "How do I find enlightenment?" The master replied, "Sit quietly and watch." When you watch, who is it that watches? This question points directly to the observer within. It invites you to turn your attention inward and discover the silent presence that is always there. Life will continue to bring challenges and joys, but when you find the observer within, you are no longer lost in the storm. You become the calm at the center. You might also notice that this witness is not separate from life. It is not hidden away in some distant place. It is always present in each moment, quietly witnessing your journey. This presence can be your guide, your refuge, and your strength. When you move through the world as the observer, you carry a peace that others can feel. You become like a calm river flowing gently through the landscape of life. Remember, this path is not about becoming perfect or never feeling strong emotions. It is about seeing clearly what is happening inside and outside, and meeting each moment with openness. The observer within is your true nature. It is the light that shines through the clouds of confusion. So, each day, practice finding this witness. When your mind is loud, be the silent watcher. When emotions rise, be the still pond. In this simple practice, great freedom waits for you. And one day, you will see that the observer and the observed are not two. They are one. This is the heart of Zen, the unity of all things in calm awareness. Keep watching, keep resting in that silent space. Your life will never be the same. Breaking the habit loop, pause before you act. Let me tell you something very quietly, very simply. Before every mistake you make, before every regret you carry, before every angry word or broken relationship, there's a very small moment, barely noticeable, very fragile. That moment is a pause, a breath, a tiny space between what you feel and what you do. That space is your freedom. But most people miss it. Why? Because we are caught in habit loops, automatic reactions, patterns that repeat without us knowing. Someone says something we don't like. We react. We don't even think. It's like a match touches fire, and we explode. But a Zen master once said, in the space between stimulus and response, there lies the path to liberation. So today, let us sit together and talk about that space. When a bell rings in the monastery, we do not run. We stop. We listen. We breathe. The bell is not just a sound. It's a reminder, a call back to ourselves. A message, pause. Be here. You do not need a monastery or a bell. Your life is ringing bells every day. That argument with your partner, that feeling of stress when your boss calls, that tightness in your chest when someone cuts you in traffic, those are all bells. But instead of hearing them, we let the body take over. The reaction is faster than our awareness. Like a wave, it crashes before we know it came. And then what do we say? I didn't mean to say that. I don't know why I did that. Yes, because you didn't pause. In Buddhism, this automatic reaction is known as samskara, mental formations, deep impressions left by past experiences. They're like grooves in the mind. Every time you react in a certain way, the groove becomes deeper. Over time, it becomes a highway. Easy, fast, unquestioned. But the more you walk the same path, the less you see. Zen practice is about noticing this. Not fighting your habits, not blaming yourself, but gently, calmly, seeing them for what they are. The habit is not you. You are the one who sees the habit. This difference is everything. Let me give you an example. A young monk once came to me, angry with himself. He said, "Master, I keep getting irritated when others don't follow the rules. I try to be patient, but I snap. Again and again." I told him, next time, when irritation arises, don't try to be patient. Don't try to change it. Just pause. Just breathe. Say nothing. Do nothing. He was confused. But if I do nothing, the irritation stays. I smiled. No, if you do nothing, you will see that you're not the irritation. You will see it rise and fall like a wave. He tried it, and slowly, he became free, not because he destroyed his anger, but because he no longer believed in it. The pause is not easy. It feels unnatural at first. You will feel the pressure to react, to say something, to defend yourself, to run, to argue, to justify. But in that moment, if you can just observe, you are practicing true Zen. You do not need to be wise, enlightened, or special. You only need to be present. When the mind says, react, you just breathe. When the body wants to fight, you just watch. When emotions rush in, you bow to them gently and let them pass. That is real strength. Now, let us go a little deeper. Why do we keep falling into habits? Because habits give us a false sense of control. They are predictable. They make us feel safe. Even if the habit hurts us, we return to it because we know its shape. It's like walking into the same dark room every night. You know where the chair is, where the bed is. It's not pleasant, but it's familiar. But peace does not live in the familiar. Peace lives in the pause. Peace comes when you break the loop. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if your mind screams, even if your body shakes, even if the silence feels like a storm, stay with it. That storm will pass. And what remains is clarity. In Zen training, we sit in silence for hours, not because we love stillness, but because in that stillness, we meet all our habits face to face. The itch to move, the desire to escape, the discomfort in stillness, the mind that says, this is pointless. We meet it all, and we don't fight it. We watch, and slowly, like fog lifting, we begin to see clearly. The mind is not our enemy. It is simply noisy. It is filled with echoes of the past. But when you stop reacting, you stop feeding the noise. And when the noise stops, you can hear your true voice. You might ask, but what about urgency? What if something needs a quick decision? Zen does not say never act. It says, act with awareness. Even one breath, 1 second of stillness can be enough. The pause does not slow life. It makes it real. It brings you back into the moment, into your body, into your choice. Without the pause, you are a puppet. With the pause, you're the master. Now let me tell you a final story. There was a samurai known for his quick temper. One day, he came to a monk and asked, "What is hell? What is heaven?" The monk looked at him and said, "You are nothing but a wild dog. You call yourself a samurai." The samurai, furious, drew his sword. The monk smiled and said, "That is hell." Shocked, the samurai stopped. Then the monk gently said, "In this moment of pause, that is heaven." The samurai fell to his knees. That small space, that pause between rage and awareness, that is everything. So remember, next time you feel the fire rise, next time your mouth wants to speak before your heart understands, next time your hands clench or your mind races, pause. Just pause. No big teachings. No need for mantras. No need for control. Just be still. Just breathe and watch. In that breath, 1,000 years of habit can break. In that pause, your real life begins. Stay calm. Observe what happens, and you will see nothing is stronger than the one who does not react. Nothing is freer than the one who chooses the pause. That is Zen, and that is your path. Space between thoughts, realizing true clarity. Sit down, my child. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if you like. Listen not only with your ears, but with your heart. Let's talk. Not about something loud and powerful, but something very quiet, very small, yet very deep. I want to speak to you about something most people never even notice, the space between thoughts. You see, thoughts are like raindrops falling on the surface of a still lake. One after the other, they come plop, plop, plop. Some are small, some are heavy, some bring joy, others bring fear. But between each drop, there is silence. Between each thought, there is space. And that space, that silence, is where your real self lives. Many people think their mind is only made of thoughts, ideas, memories, worries, dreams. But that's like saying the sky is made of clouds. No, the clouds only pass through. The sky itself is wide, open, untouched. In the same way, your true mind is like the sky, and your thoughts are like the clouds. You are not your thoughts. You are the space they move through. But let me explain it more simply. Have you ever sat on your bed at night, tired, staring at the ceiling? A few thoughts run across your mind. Did I do enough today? What if tomorrow is difficult? Why do they speak to me that way? But then, suddenly nothing. Just stillness. No thought for a second. That moment where everything is still, that's what we're talking about. That gap, that quiet pause between one thought and the next is not empty. It's full of peace. It's full of life. It's full of your awareness. Buddha often taught us not to fight the mind, but to observe it. Not to chase it, not to wrestle it, but to sit with it like an old friend. When we do this, when we sit and just breathe, we begin to notice something unusual. The thoughts slow down. And between them, a beautiful emptiness appears. Now, this emptiness isn't scary. It is not loneliness. It is not boredom. It is calm. It is like the silence in a forest after the rain. It is like the pause between two waves at sea. It is like the quiet of a temple before dawn. Inside that quiet, there is something deeper than thought, something clearer than logic, a clarity that doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from not thinking at all. Strange, isn't it? But true. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you're trying to remember something. A name, maybe. You push your mind, you squint your eyes, you search hard. But nothing comes. Then, suddenly, a minute later, when you stop trying and do something else, the name just pops into your head. That's the power of space. When a mind is not cluttered, clarity comes on its own. In Zen, we call this no mind, a mind that is not filled with noise, a mind that is awake but not busy, like a pond that reflects the moon perfectly because no stones are being thrown into it. So, how do we enter this space between thoughts? We do not force it. We simply sit. We breathe. We allow. When a thought comes, we see it. We do not hold it, and we do not push it away. We just let it pass. Then comes another, and we watch. Between those thoughts, we begin to feel the stillness. At first, it's only for 1 second. But over time, the space becomes longer. And in that space, we begin to taste real peace. This space is where your awareness shines the brightest. It is not distracted, not confused, not worried. It simply sees. And seeing clearly is the root of wisdom. Most people chase answers through thinking. But answers that come from silence, those are the ones that change your life. Let me tell you a short Zen story. There was once a young monk who came to his master, full of questions. "Master," he said, "what is the meaning of life? What is the nature of the mind? How can I be free?" The master said nothing. Instead, he led the monk to a nearby lake. He picked up a stone and threw it into the water. The ripples spread across the surface. "Look at the water," the master said. "Can you see your reflection?" "No," replied the monk. "The water is moving." They waited in silence. After some time, the ripples calmed. The water became still. "Now," said the master, "can you see your reflection?" "Yes," the monk said, amazed. "Clearly." "This," said the master, "is your mind. When you stop disturbing it with too many thoughts, it shows you the truth. Do you see now? In the space between thoughts, your reflection becomes clear. Your life becomes clear. But don't take my word for it. Try it. Today, just take 5 minutes. Sit alone. Don't do anything. Don't plan. Don't try to meditate perfectly. Just sit. Watch your thoughts rise and fall. And try to notice what happens between them. Maybe you'll feel boredom. Maybe restlessness. That's okay. Stay a little longer. And slowly, gently, that space will show itself to you. That space is not far. It is not hidden. It is here, right now, in this very moment. The only reason we don't see it is because we're always running after the next thought. Think of your thoughts like birds flying in the sky. You don't have to follow each one. You can simply lie on the grass, look up, and enjoy the sky behind them. This space is where your real power lies, not in controlling the world, not in arguing with others, but in seeing clearly, in responding from peace, not from panic. And remember this, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that sees them come and go. That is your freedom. That is your home. So, take a deep breath, my dear. Sit in silence. Let the noise of the world pass like a train in the distance. You do not need to jump on every thought. You are the one watching from a station. Calm, still, aware. And in this space between thoughts, you will begin to remember who you truly are. Not the roles, not the stories, not the doubts, but the calm presence underneath it all. This is the doorway to clarity. And once you walk through it, you will never look at life the same way again. Let life unfold, trusting the present moment. My dear student, come sit. Sit quietly for a while. Let the wind pass through your thoughts. Let the dust of the world settle. You have been running for so long, running after answers, chasing dreams, fearing failure, fearing silence. But today, I ask you not to run, not to seek, just to sit and let life unfold. You see, the river does not force itself to flow. It follows the path naturally carved by time. The seasons do not compete with each other. Spring never tries to become autumn. Everything in nature moves with quiet patience, with deep trust, with surrender. So why do you rush? Why do you worry so much about what will happen next? Let me tell you a story. There was once a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors came and said, "What bad luck?" The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 wild horses. The neighbors said, "How wonderful." The farmer said, "Maybe." The following day, his son tried to ride one of the wild horses, fell, and broke his leg. Again, the neighbors said, "Such misfortune." And the farmer said again, "Maybe." A few days later, soldiers came to the village to take young men to war. Because his son had a broken leg, they left him behind. The neighbors cried, "How lucky." But the farmer smiled softly and said, "Maybe. Do you see? Life unfolds in ways we cannot predict. What seems like a loss today might be the beginning of a great blessing. What you resist may be exactly what you need to grow." The Zen way is not to label everything as good or bad. It is to watch, to breathe, to stay calm, and to let life unfold. You ask me, "Master, how do I let go of control?" And I tell you, you were never in control to begin with. That was only an illusion, like mist that disappears with the morning sun. The more you try to control the moment, the more the moment controls you. But when you relax your grip, something shifts. You begin to float instead of fight. You begin to flow instead of freeze. Trust is not blind belief. It is not ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. Trust is quiet. Trust is choosing to stay open, even when the outcome is uncertain. It is choosing to observe your feelings without drowning in them. It is remembering again and again that this moment is enough. Have you watched clouds? They drift without effort. Sometimes dark, sometimes bright, but they never resist the wind. They don't say, "I want to go that way." They simply move, changing shape, vanishing, returning. You are not so different. Dolftskulme. Emotions rise. Moments change. You don't have to grab them. Just let them pass. Let them show you what they came to show. Then let them go. I once sat with a student who was crying. They had lost a job they loved. "Why did this happen?" they asked me. I did not answer. Instead, I poured tea. Slowly. One drop after another. In silence. After a while, they stopped crying and just watched the tea. "It's beautiful," they said. "Yes," I replied. So, is this moment, even in pain? It is teaching you something. A year later, they found a path even better than before. Life had unfolded, but only when they stopped clinging to the past. Clarity comes not from force, but from stillness. Just like muddy water clears when left alone. When you stop stirring, truth reveals itself. This is why we meditate, not to escape life, but to meet it with open hands. Every moment is a seed, but not every seed blooms right away. Some take days, some take years, some seem forgotten until one day, in the quiet, a sprout appears. So don't rush your growth. Don't compare your journey. Just stay present and tend to the moment you're in. Water it with patience. Shine light through kindness. And wait. Life is always blooming, even when you cannot see it. And yes, waiting can feel hard, especially when the world shouts, "Act, achieve, prove." But the wise one knows that the greatest strength is sometimes stillness. Not all storms can be outrun. Some must be waded through. When the storm passes, the sky clears. And in that sky, you find yourself again. This is not laziness. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Zen does not say, "Do nothing." It says, "Do what is needed, then release." Like the archer who draws the bow, aims, and lets go. The release is as important as the action. Hold too tight, and the arrow will wobble. Trust the moment. Let fly. Look at your own life. Think of the times when things didn't go as planned. Didn't some of those moments lead you somewhere better? Didn't they teach you something deeper? Maybe they led you to a new person, a new truth, a new self. That is life unfolding. Not as you imagined, but as it needed to. The lotus grows in the mud, not in clean water. Your struggles are not the end. They are the soil. Your pain is not your prison. It is the teacher. But only if you're willing to sit still and listen. When you stay calm and observe, you give life space to speak to you. You begin to notice small things. The warmth of the sun, the softness of breath, the sound of your own heartbeat. And in those small things, you remember you are alive. This moment is real, and it is enough. You don't have to fix everything right now. You don't have to know the whole path. Just take one mindful step, breathe, and trust that the next step will come when it's time. So, stay where you are. Close your eyes if you wish. Feel the ground beneath you. Listen, not with your ears, but with your whole being. Life is whispering to you. Always. Not with answers, but with presence. Let go of the urge to hurry. Let go of the need to be certain. Let go of the weight you've been carrying. It's time. Just be here. Trust the now. Trust yourself. Trust that life, in all its wisdom, is already unfolding perfectly. And when you wake tomorrow, don't rush into thought. Pause. Observe the sky. Feel the breath. And remember what the old Zen masters knew so well. The present moment is not a place to pass through. It is the doorway to everything. The wisdom of waiting, patience as a spiritual practice. The Zen Master sat beneath the old Bodhi tree, eyes soft, breath steady, voice gentle like the breeze at dawn. Around him were a few listeners, hearts heavy with worry, minds full of noise. He began to speak slowly, so even silence could fit between his words. Let me tell you a truth no one wants to hear. Most things take time. But we don't want to wait, do we? We want quick answers. Fast healing, instant success, immediate peace. We've grown used to the idea that if something doesn't happen right away, then maybe it's not meant to happen at all. But that's not how nature works. That's not how your mind works. That's not how awakening works. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up the next day to see if it sprouted. You water it. You give it sunlight. You protect it. And then you wait. Days, weeks, sometimes longer. That is the wisdom of waiting. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is deep trust. We must learn to trust the process even when we can't see the result. This is where the spiritual path becomes real. Not in theory, not in books, but in the quiet space between effort and outcome. The Buddha once waited 6 long years, through hunger, pain, and solitude, before his great realization. 6 years, not 6 minutes. What does that tell you? It tells you that patience is not a pause between actions. It is the path itself. Let's take a simple example. Imagine boiling water for tea. You light the fire. You place the kettle, but the water doesn't boil instantly. You must wait. Now, suppose you check it every 5 seconds. You shake the kettle. You raise the flame, lower it, raise it again. You get frustrated. You think, why is it not boiling yet? You miss the beauty of the moment, the sound of the fire, the scent of the air, the quiet rising of steam. And when the water finally boils, your mind is still in a rush. You drink, but you do not taste. Now, look again at your life. How often are you boiling with impatience, missing the moments in between? Understand this. Things ripen in silence. A fruit does not yell while it ripens. A flower does not scream while it blooms. The most powerful changes happen slowly and quietly. That's why when you're waiting for clarity, for healing, for growth, you're not doing nothing. You're being prepared. Life is teaching you something, not punishing you. Can you see that? You see, impatience comes from fear. Fear that nothing is happening. Fear that you're behind. Fear that you'll never get there. But patience comes from wisdom. Patience says, I am here, and I trust this moment. Let me tell you a story from Zen. A student once came to the master and said, How long will it take me to be free? The master replied, 10 years. The student frowned. What if I try really hard? The master smiled. Then it will take 20. The student was confused, but the master knew the truth. The more you rush, the further you drift. Trying too hard, pushing too much, wanting too quickly. These are forms of resistance. And resistance clouds the path. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not asking you to sit around and do nothing. Action is important. But once you've acted, once you've planted the seed, there comes a sacred phase, waiting without worry. Let go of the need to control the timing. That is peace. Buddhism teaches us about karma, that every action creates an effect, but the effect does not always arrive immediately. It may come in a week, a month, a lifetime. Your job is not to chase the result. Your job is to act with clarity and wait with calm. How often do we suffer not because of life, but because of our refusal to wait? Waiting is hard because the mind wants to be somewhere else. But the wise know there is nowhere else to be. This moment is enough, just as it is. You may say, "But Master, I've been waiting for years." Then I say, and what has that waiting taught you? It has taught you humility. It has taught you to surrender. It has shown you what matters. Even pain, when observed patiently, becomes a great teacher. Sometimes the thing you're waiting for is not what you're meant to receive. But through the act of waiting, you discover something more valuable, your own presence. Now listen closely. When you wait with awareness, you stop measuring your life in terms of gain and loss. You begin to see time not as an enemy, but as a friend walking beside you. You learn that every delay has a reason, even if you don't understand it yet. Ask the tree if it is sad to wait through winter. It will smile and say, "No, I am gathering strength." Ask the river if it is tired of flowing slowly. It will reply, "No, I move with the land, not against it." Ask your own breath if it's in a hurry. It will tell you, "I return again and again." That is enough. So don't rush through your life. Do not rush healing. Do not rush understanding. Observe what happens when you simply allow yourself to be here. It is in the waiting that clarity comes. It is in the pause that wisdom arises. It is in the silence between breaths where the truth hides. Let your heart be still, even if your mind wants to run. Feel each second stretch open, like the petals of a lotus. Do not be afraid of slowness. Be afraid only of forgetting to live. And finally, remember this. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Sometimes, life makes you wait, not to punish you, but to prepare you. So sit, breathe, and watch. Patience is not a test. It is a path to freedom. The Zen Master closed his eyes. The wind moved through the trees, soft and slow. No one spoke. There was no need. In that silence, a deeper truth was heard, louder than words, clearer than thought. Stay calm and observe what happens. Wait, and life will show you. Be like water, mastering the flow of observation. Sit with me for a while, just for this last time. You have walked with me through stillness, through storms, through silence. You have seen how calmness is not the absence of action, but the space where right action begins. And now, we reach the final part of our journey together. The last teaching, the final breath of this path. Let me speak to you not as a teacher above you, but as someone walking beside you. Gently, slowly, as water flows around a rock. There is one truth that many miss in their chase for answers, success, or peace. Be like water. That's it. 3 words. But behind these words lies a life that flows with ease, wisdom, and grace. Water never forces. It never argues. It never demands. Yet, it shapes mountains, carves valleys, and softens even the hardest stones. Why? Because it doesn't resist. It doesn't panic. It simply flows. It stays calm and keeps moving. And this is the final key I offer you. Observation with flow. Let me ask you something. When something goes wrong in your life, do you tense up? Do you freeze? Do you fight? Most people do. It's natural. But is it wise? Water doesn't react. It responds. Water never says, "I must go straight." If it meets a wall, it goes around it. If there's no way, it waits patiently drop by drop until the wall is worn down. It teaches us observation is not just stillness. It is movement without resistance. The whole of Buddhism rests on this quiet power of watching. Watching thoughts, watching feelings, watching others, watching the world, but watching like water, softly, gently, without needing to control. You see, most people think power comes from control, controlling others, controlling outcomes, controlling emotions. But Zen says, real power comes when you no longer need to control. You trust the flow. You trust life. Let's take a simple example. Someone insults you. You feel like fire. The urge to speak back rises fast. But if you pause, breathe, and observe, you notice that the insult is just sound. Just words, like ripples on the surface of a pond. You don't have to jump in. You don't have to stir the water more. You can just let it settle. And when you do that, something magical happens. The insult loses its power. You keep your peace. You save your energy. You remain centered. This is what it means to be like water. To observe what happens, but not to be shaken by it. Not to be dragged by every emotion or pushed by every pressure. Water teaches you to adapt without losing your form. There are times when water is quiet, a still pond in the morning light. There are times when it is powerful, a waterfall crashing down a cliff. Yet in both forms, it remains water. It remains itself. Calm or fierce, it flows. In the same way, you too can be many things, soft when needed, strong when required, but always aware, always observing, never lost. Let me share something from the Buddhist teachings. There's a word, upeksha. It means equanimity, balance, a state where you're not pulled by praise or crushed by criticism. You remain centered. This is the mind of water. This is the fruit of calm observation. When you reach this stage in your journey, life becomes lighter. You smile more. You argue less. You stop needing to prove yourself. You stop fighting reality. You become like the stream that flows quietly through the forest, touching everything, harming nothing. You'll see people rushing. Let them. You'll see people shouting. Let them. You'll see people lost in fear. Pray for them. But you stay in your flow. You stay calm and observe. For you have become the watcher, the gentle current, the still lake. And even in your stillness, you move. Not with force, but with trust. There will be hard days. Days where the current feels rough. Days where your heart aches. On those days, remember this. Water does not need to win. It only needs to keep flowing. Flow through pain. Flow through joy. Flow through confusion. Flow through clarity. Just flow. Just watch. Just breathe. And when you're tired, don't fight. Rest. Even the river rests in the bends. Even the rain pauses between clouds. Rest is not failure. It's part of the rhythm. And while you rest, keep observing. Life continues to teach in silence. The Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, not fighting his thoughts, not chasing enlightenment. He simply watched, quietly, steadily. And in that quiet watching, truth revealed itself. So now, I ask you, can you do the same? Can you sit beneath your own life like the Buddha under that tree and just observe? Because in the end, all transformation begins in silence. Now, my dear friend, this is where our shared journey ends. But yours is just beginning. You don't need to remember every word I've said. Just remember the stillness, the calm, the watching. When your heart races, pause. When your mind screams, observe. When the world shakes, flow. You don't have to be perfect. Just present. Stay calm. Observe what happens. Be like water. Before we end, let me say this from the heart. We've walked through 12 chapters together. That's not small. It means you're serious about your peace. That deserves respect. But still, there's one simple thing you can do to keep this river flowing. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. That's such a small number. So if you found even one drop of wisdom here, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. It truly helps this message reach others who are still struggling in noise, still searching for silence. Now breathe deeply, smile softly, and go forward, not fast, not slow, but flowing like water. The Zen Master bows gently and disappears into the mist.